Welcome back to this Monday bonus! Thank you very much. Thank you. So this Saturday, June 6th, if you're listening to this, when it comes out or throughout the week, if you're listening to this in the future, I'm sorry you missed it. June 6th, 2026, we will be going back to the Other Side Paranormal and Mortuary Science Museum for the 5th annual Haunting in ReoTown Marketplace event. This is going to be, and I've said it on social media, the best opportunity you will have to attend a public ghost hunt in Michigan this year. We are not only featured speakers and guests throughout the day at this incredible all-day event. We will be leading, alongside Ghost Contact Paranormal, a after-hours ghost hunt at the Haunted Museum in Lansing, Michigan on the evening of June 6th. You will want to be there. And if you want to know, what can I expect to happen? What kind of experiences have you had in the past there? Well, we actually recorded a year ago. This is pre-podcast, but we were kind of doing like a trial phase where we started like recording conversations, kind of lightly putting them out, and then we got microphones, got serious about it, and then actually started doing this the show you know and love called Paranormal Lens. You're listening to it now. So this right after we did last year's ghost hunt, our brains were broken, and we had to tell Brienna, who did not attend last year's, but she will be attending this year's on June 6th, what happened. Because this was the most, undeniably, without a doubt, most intense, scariest public ghost hunt we have ever been a part of. And we had to tell Brianna immediately on the air. We recorded the whole conversation. What the heck happened? We trauma dumped, brain dumped all this information, all this crazy stuff, paranormal, real frightening experiences onto her, and we put it out. Well, since we relaunched the podcast, the few couple trial episodes, which are audio only, aren't live anymore. But we went into the vault and we dug this one up because it's timely and relevant. People are asking what they can expect this Saturday. This is the raw, like always, minimally edited conversation that we had with Brianna right after the 4th annual Haunting in ReoTown Marketplace event last year, where we declared an emergency episode and told her all of what happened. It is, like I said, audio only, so for the few people that typically like to watch this on YouTube, there will just be a static image once we get back from the intro, but stick with this one because despite not having the fancy mics that we have now and being audio only, this is a really frightening experience we had, and a really compelling conversation, I think, about the most intense public ghost hunt we've ever led. So if this conversation resonates and you want to, see if history repeats itself for the 5th annual Haunting in ReoTown Marketplace, come see us in Lansing, Michigan on Saturday, June 6th. But that's enough yapping for now. Without further ado, let's dive into the conversation. Welcome to our podcast, where we take deep dives
looking at various topics through a paranormal lens.
We need to break down, dissect, analyze, figure out what the heck happened to us this past weekend, as we were one of 4 paranormal teams that helped put on the Haunting in ReoTown 2025 event. This is an annual paranormal event put on by the Other Side Paranormal and Mortuary Science Museum in Lansing, Michigan. After the day's festivities, there was a costume contest, Q&As, tours. After all that, as the sun went down, we, alongside Ghost Contact Paranormal, Tri-City Ghost Hunter Society, and the Photographic Investigation Research Team, put on a public ghost hunt event. And some crazy stuff happened that we need to break down. Just for the listeners out there, on this call, it's me, your co-host Ben. I'm joined by co-host Angela.
Hi.
There she is. She just said hi. And we are about to reveal what the heck happened to us at the Other Side Paranormal Mortuary Science Museum to co-host Brianna.
What's up? I have heard nothing yet.
She has literally heard nothing yet. We have teased this for a few nights now.
Yeah, you guys have been like all weekend like, oh my god, we need to like talk, we need to like do a phone call and like tell you what happened, and like I'm like, "Oh my god, what happened?" And you're like, "It's too much over text." And I'm just here like, "Okay, what crazy thing could have happened that they can't even like describe any of it to me?"
Brianna, not only are you very grounded and level-headed in general, you are an unbiased third party. You were not present at the ghost hunt. You have never been to the other side paranormal and mortuary science museum in general. So every aspect of this is going to be like a clean slate.
No hindsight bias.
No, or recency bias, because I'm gonna make some really bold claims. We need to. This is the craziest. We've done so many public ghost hunts before with you, Brianna. We've led them at various places: Seven Gables Road, downtown in Williamston, Michigan, uh, the Stimson Hospital, Eaton County Courthouse. Recently at the Festival of Oddities every year, the list goes on. We've done so many, and they're pretty standard and cut and dry. We kind of have an established flow on how these things operate by now.
Mhm, mhm.
And in investigations in general, we've been doing this for 8 years now, 300 something investigations. We were just talking at the Madison Seminary with Becca. Remember, we were asking like, "Hey, does the paranormal still like surprise you? Is it still? Do you still get that sense of awe all these years later?"
Mhm.
Saturday reminded me that, yeah, we're still experiencing things we've never experienced before. When we do paranormal tours and ghost hunts, there's often a range in terms of like number of guests. And the more people you have on a public ghost hunt,
Worst it gets.
and we've known that since, when we started at Michigan State University with the paranormal club, we would have like 70 people rammed in a cemetery. And it's just like, there's nothing you could do. Like 70 people are signed up for this club, but still you're more people wrangling than ghost wrangling.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of
exactly.
cross-contamination. The reason I bring this up is because here, this was the best setup for a public ghost hunt that I've ever been a part of. From the get-go, it was capped at 16 people that could come as guests, and there were 4 paranormal groups spread throughout the building. For anyone that might not be familiar with the setup of this building, the Paranormal and Mortuary Science Museum is just one shop within the greater ReoTown Marketplace. This is a 14,400 square foot space, and the entire building is hella haunted.
Yeah.
Hella, Hella, haunted. Very haunted. It's not just the museum. They put a paranormal museum in a 14,400 square foot haunted building. So we were spread out. There were 4 groups spread out throughout the entire marketplace. There's one group in the museum proper. There's one group in the oddity shop next door. There was another group towards the middle of the building, and then we were in the back of the building. So everyone was spread out. There's no cross contamination. And the 16 people were divided in 4 groups, 4 people, 4 groups, and they would rotate every hour to us. So we were docked in our station all night for 4 hours, and 4 people would rotate 4 times throughout the 4 groups. That's a lot of fours, but it worked. It was great.
Mhm, mhm. It was a really good setup, I enjoyed it like that.
Yeah, it was great. And with that too, even though these were all strangers, right? We didn't know any of these people. But by the end of it, when you spend an hour with just 4 people and you get up close and personal with all the equipment, with the location, it is as close to a one-on-one experience as you could have gotten.
For a public ghost hunt, it is pretty one-on-one as you could get.
Makes me a little jealous that I had to miss this one.
Oh, you're not going to be jealous by the end of this because
Oh,
it started with 16 people. I'd say only half of them remained.
Mhm.
I've never seen on a public ghost hunt. You're talking, if I were to guess, 6 or 7 people that left because of the activity, and as they were leaving, they demanded a cleansing.
really?
Luckily, there's someone on Ghost Contacts Paranormal, Garth, great guy. He does cleansings. He was like stationed up. He was giving these people Thank God he was there.
No kidding. That's not something that happens.
No. And imagine if it was just
Mm,
us.
mm-mm.
I just bought a crystal for the first time.
Splash him with some holy water? I don't know.
It's like I've never considered. And this was like a normal ass investigation for the first half of it. There was an escalation as you're about to hear. doing terrible with this slow build up.
Yeah,
Even
it's an intense
but
buildup where you're
it's
building the suspension, but we
I
gotta hit
know,
the climax.
I know. Just keep that in mind that the group is about to be cut in half with like a large majority of the people that left ultimately demanding a cleanse. And like
Mm-hmm.
I'm just very grateful it was not Angela and I there, like as the only ghost hunters because ooh, I mean we've been doing it so long. And this will be a recurring theme of the night. It's like we were the professionals, quote unquote.
That's really funny to think about.
Yeah, and there are so many things it's like I've never experienced until this night. But I guess that's the thing with the paranormal.
Hmm.
Anyone that's claims to be an expert or a educator, they're still learning. Check them out, scroll through how long have they been doing it? They've been doing it a couple years, 5 years, 6 years, 8 years like us, almost a decade now, and we're still learning. So, be wary of anyone that claims to be a hardcore expert and says this way or I won't hear it.
Yeah. Be wary of those people. Be wary of the people who are like, it's this way and this way only, because that's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
And we've discovered and this will be a recurring theme too, I'm sure, during this conversation. There's so much nuance in the paranormal. There's rarely a yes or no to any question. Like you can maybe this will be a fun episode for another day, but you can hit me with any question related to the paranormal, and I doubt there will be anything that's a simple yes or no answer. Anyways, let's get into it. So the night began, and Angela and I were stationed up in the back of the building. And this was really interesting because this area we never investigated before. We've investigated the other side museum once prior.
Yeah, we weren't allowed back there because alarms would go off last time.
So this was new territory for us. It was also the furthest from the museum,
Mm-hmm.
and it was essentially 3 rooms. The room to the far left was empty, so it's an empty room. The room in the middle was a little theater setup, so a cute little theater. And then to the right was like a little shop. And the whole thing was the shop owner thought her husband might haunt there and just wanted to see if we might pick up his name. So we're far from all the cursed haunted objects, and we're just chilling in an empty room or a theater or trying to see if this chill little cool shop has a former owner lingering around. So, not really the spookiest of setups. And the night began as one would expect. We met our first group and overall pretty quiet. Something I really enjoyed though is every single person that came in was primed to be skeptical and grounded because the co-owners of the Other Side Paranormal and Mortuary Science Museum they did a lecture, or John specifically, the owners are John and Jen. John did a lecture earlier in the day about skeptical investigating. And then every group that investigated with the two of them, they had a mini course on like things that can give false readings, ways people might mess with your equipment to, trip an EMF meter to go off and, things you can install on the walls or we always joke people talk to their refrigerator and think it's dead Uncle Bob. They did a whole course on like being skeptical, being grounded and using common sense because they're skeptics first and they're very upfront about that, and they really, really wanted to keep everything as grounded as possible, which I really thoroughly appreciate because as Brienna, you indicated, I didn't even admit ghosts were real until like a year or 2 ago.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Like, I think like when I've done public ghost hunts, I like that is something that I always try to drill into public because like always approach it as skeptic first.
But with that, I think that opened the door to a lot of experimentation. We've discussed many times that we do a lot of experimentation in safe spaces, such as my apartment. I felt very safe at the other side Paranormal and Mortuary Science Museum. The owners are amazing. John and Jen, incredibly gracious, kind people. They just have an amazing shop and just amazing people in general. We've investigated there before. No bad vibes, all great vibes. We were there all day. We had a booth. It wasn't like we just showed up. Um, and all these people were primed to think critically and be skeptical. And we talk all the time about correlation.
Mhm.
If you just use one tool or one device, are you really like, what does that really mean? So we were big and leaning into um the correlations. So our one of our two Ouija boards we got from this museum. It's a 1955 Ouija board that we used in a seance during our first investigation. It might be something attached to it. We get the letters Q and T in the rainbow effect, like Zozo Mama, it just goes QT, QT with this board and only this board. So we decided, since we got it from here, to bring it back for the first time ever and, use it back at the scene of the crime. But we used it only if they were comfortable. There was one group that was really on board, one group that kind of wanted to try it, and another group that didn't want to use it, and that's fine. But the way we used it was we did the Estes method, which is when you do the spirit box with the blindfold and headphones. And what we like to do, Angela and I, when we experiment, is we do the Estes method while doing the Ouija board. So what this means is one of the people that's doing the Ouija board session can't see anything, can't hear anything, and they're getting responses of their own that we can then in real time compare against any responses we're getting on the Ouija board. And another thing we want to do, because all these people come to these events with the apps, right? And we sometimes have Ghost 2, is that what Ghost 2, Ghost Talk?
Ghost Tube. I use Ghost Tube occasionally just for funsies.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, as long as you don't assume that every word means something, and we've talked many
Yeah.
times.
It's not the most reliable.
Oh no, definitely not. It's fun sometimes to use on those public ghost hunts because like you get interaction, but
Yeah.
once again, like not everything on there is actually evidence. It's better when you get
Mhm.
something that corresponds with something else. But continue, go ahead.
No, yeah, absolutely. And we've even said on the Spirit podcast that at best, those tools are great for sparking some sort of research, further research, go on a deep dive. What could this word mean?
Mhm.
But anyways, there was a new paranormal app that came out that I was seeing a lot of buzz about called Deadline. The way the Deadline works is doing two things at once. First, it pumps out just a background frequency sweep. Literally, it just goes from 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, sweeping from one frequency to another. And I had this going for hours and no voices came through, but people swear that they can hear voices coming through, essentially just like a spirit box, can make out words within the frequency there. And on top of that, you have the sound bank with the random word generator, like an Ovilus, like a ghost talker. This is happening simultaneously to this frequency just going and looping in the background. And the thing I like most about this is they have on the website laid out in detail exactly what the sounds are, how they're getting the sounds, what you're hearing, what you're looking at, paragraphs upon paragraphs, being fully transparent on what this app is actually doing. And that's what makes it different than some of the entertainment purposes only, quote unquote, apps that you'll get on a normal app store.
Mhm.
So what we decided to do was have this app, this new app Deadline, running all night. And we had it stationed up in the shop where the dead husband was allegedly haunting. And we just wanted it running while we do these other experiments. Let's say, for example, and they send you a report at the end that's time stamped with all the responses at the time. So what if we're in the middle doing a Ouija board blindfolded while doing Spirit Box with the soundproof headphones on, and Ouija board and Spirit Box say the same response at the same time? This app running in a separate room says the same thing. That's what we were hoping for.
Did that actually happen? Because that would be
It
really
did.
cool.
There,
Wait, it did?
we had variations of like the Ouija board and Spirit Box lining up, the Spirit Box and that app lining up.
Mhm.
Never all three, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still, even just two is insane.
So that's what we were trying to do all night, is just get as much correlation between responses. And we also had like all the other tools, with K2s and EMF meters and cat balls and dowsing rods like spread throughout the place.
Mhm.
That's sort of the setup. That's kind of what we were trying to do. Everyone came in very grounded, and because they were so grounded and critically thinking, we did a lot of experimentation. It's on a normal public ghost hunt, we would not pull out a Ouija board. We would not be doing Ouija board SD sessions combined with using a new app we've never used before while doing dowsing rods. Like, this is not something you do on a normal public ghost hunt.
Mhm.
I think that led to us potentially opening ourselves up, unlike a normal ghost hunt where we're really just focused on the people, making sure they're having a good time. I think we opened ourselves up to having a genuine experience.
Yeah, there was a lot of energy, not even just during the ghost hunt, but like throughout the day too, that I feel could have ramped up to what happened later in the night.
And it was a slow build, like I said.
It really was. Like the first group we had, I'm like, okay, this is probably how it's gonna be, especially for this being like a new location. Like we haven't been in that spot. I wasn't expecting much. And then each group kept getting more ramped up, more creepier, where everything that did come through for each group kept like making sense and aligning with each other.
The first group, nothing happened like the first 45 minutes. And then at the very end, we were split up in the middle theater room, and then Angela, you were in the side room. That's kind of just empty. At the same time, that in the middle room, someone doing Estes method heard a growl or a hissing sound and then felt like something brushed up right behind them and kind of was like, oof, what was that? At the same time, Angela, you heard something in the corner.
Yes, around the same time, I was with two other people in the group, and we were in this other little section. Well, there's like nothing in it. It's just like cement walls or whatever. And we were using the dowsing rods, and we asked, "Can you point where in the room you are at?" And the dowsing rods pointed to a very specific corner, and we heard what sounded like scratching on the wall. It's the best way I could put it.
Hmm.
Yeah, like we went over there, or I went over there afterwards when we were like switching teams or whatever, and I scratched on him. Like that is kind of what I heard. So, but
Interesting.
we know it came from that wall, like that corner, and it happened at the same time that girl was using the spirit box and heard like that growling and stuff.
That's just the beginning.
Yeah, this is just the beginning.
The next group comes in and activity happens, but it was fun vibes. We were in the middle section, in the old theater. Back in the day, there was like prostitution,
Yeah, illegal stuff at the time.
underground parties, prohibition era shenanigans, and one of the prostitutes came through.
Yeah, we were using the Ouija board most of the hour.
Yeah, and this was when we were really leaning into the Ouija board Estes method combo, and none of
Yep.
the activity was bad vibes.
Nothing like bad. No, it was like it just was a prostitute coming through and being sassy was the guy because he didn't pay and wasn't doing anything. So basically,
Yeah, this was the only instance of the night where um most of the people ran away and demanded a cleansing. In this case, someone paid a ghost. So
Hmm.
kind of different.
That's
yep.
funny.
Yeah, so that was interesting. It was complete 180 from before. Um a lot of activity happening, none of it bad. It was in my head, I was like, oh, this will be the highlight of the night, a fun haha. A prostitute demanded this
Yep.
guy pay him.
I wasn't expecting anything more.
Something did happen though. We heard a voice.
Oh my oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard a voice coming from the front of the store where no one was at, and it sounded like a girl. And I'm like, "Oh, maybe it was the new um ghost app that we were using." And I didn't think anything about it, and then someone else was like, "No, no, I heard it too." And I'm like, "Huh." So I went over there just over to the front to see if there was anyone over there. There no one was. It very well could have been someone from a different group, but still that was like kind of that was really
Huh.
weird.
Interesting.
Yeah. it would be really weird if someone from another group, like, just randomly left without anyone noticing, came over to our spot just
Yes.
out of sight to say a quick thing and then discreetly leave.
I don't know. It very well could have been a person that we heard just echoing or something, but yeah, you don't know. I don't know.
And we tried disproving it, as Angela's alluding to. We're not making any claims about it. That's just how we were. That was how
Yeah.
everyone was. Everyone was grounded and level headed. So then, after that group, where there's definitely a spike in activity, but all good activity, then the third group comes in, and this is where things get interesting.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Someone got touched again, someone got scratched.
Oh, someone got scratched?
Someone got
Hmm.
scratched right away. She felt like someone like poking her hand or something like that, and then felt like it was a scratch. We didn't see anything on her arm where she felt it because I shined the flashlight and there was like no sign of like nothing, but she like
Interesting.
felt it.
And that was in the same room that earlier Angela heard scratching on the wall, and she had no way of knowing that.
Yep.
Interesting.
So this group comes in, and after that experience, we feel terrible dread coming from that corner where formerly there was the scratching on the wall. So we decide to leave and pivot to the store where there's been no vibes all night.
Yes, this is we were explaining to them about the app. We were showing them about the app.
Yeah, because they were really interested. I thought it would be a great pivot to, bad vibes over in that one room. Let's go where there's literally been no activity all night.
This part though is where I did get really off edge because the whole time Ben was explaining that app to them, my back was turned to them and just looking in that store towards where the windows was. And like I'm getting in tears because I don't ever get such a strong vibe on things. People are like, I'm getting a weird vibe in this little area or this room or whatever, and I always just like blow it off because I'm like, I don't feel anything. I don't get that way. But I had such a bad feeling of dread. I could not like turn around. I was facing it. I was like, something is going down right now. And it was not like this in the other two groups.
And to clarify, this was in the store where we went intentionally to get away from the bad vibes. And now,
Yes, and it was still there.
yes, in the store now, in the front, where we're just setting up this app to see if the husband can come through. And nothing's happened all night for 3 hours now.
So it followed you?
I don't know. I do not know.
But the feeling was intense.
Yes, very intense.
I think we were just chit chatting, trying to get our minds off the vibe. And it's at that point we realized, because at this point there were three rotations, every single group, what we perceive as just a random, just quick interaction, like, oh, haha, not so significant. Every group was having the same conversations with the spirits in different parts of the buildings at the same time. So we were comparing notes, and it was like, wait, that came
Mhm.
through on us. That came through on us. We were having the same exact, like, synchronicities.
We were like getting answers from that people were asking from different groups.
Interesting.
And that's why I say it all combined together all into one more at the end of the night where everything started to make sense because we were like, oh wait, we got this. Wait, that would make sense about what you guys got over in this other section of the building. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was weird.
And one of the groups too was talking to a haunted Russian doll. I believe it was Russian.
Yeah.
We were told this secondhand, but one of the dolls was Russian, so they were speaking to it in Russian with Google Translate, getting answers that they then translated, and it made perfect sense in
Yeah.
English. That was then correlating with what we were getting on the other side of the building
Huh.
on our two devices,
Yeah.
because we were using three devices and getting correlations on at least two all throughout the night. And then that was making sense with three other groups, one of which was translating from Russian.
Russian.
And then, as we were chit chatting and piecing all these pieces together, this owner, John, rushes in and says, something crazy happened and we need to reconvene at the museum. Turns out, in the museum, a big heavy case started violently shaking and rattling.
Are you serious?
They got it on camera, and John said, like, how he went over there, he never seen that thing, like, move, really, so he went over there, tried to move it himself, it was too heavy for it to easily do that, he was stomping, he was walking around easily, trying to figure out what could have moved this, and he could not figure it out.
That's wild.
Yeah. Plus, the REM pod was going off like crazy, and in the video too, the lights shut off. I don't know if they shut off on by themselves. Some people were saying the lights did. I don't know if it was during that time, but in the video, the lights turned off. The REM pod was going off like crazy, and then all of a sudden, the thing shook.
Wait, you're saying the lights turned off by themselves?
Yeah, did you notice in the video? I don't know if they did that or if it went off by themselves.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
So it was like it was using the light for like power. And that's another thing too, all throughout the night, we were having weird equipment drainages. The speaker would drain and then be up and running next group. All the devices would be like if it wasn't working in one group, it would work the next group perfectly fine. Anyways, around the same time this display case violently shook, you will be very shocked to find out that someone else in a different group, not prompted by us or involving us, did the trespass exercise in a haunted mirror.
Seriously?
Yeah, and they had nothing to do with us. And they saw a dark figure behind them, and they ended up leaving in tears and wanting a cleanse.
Huh.
yep.
So we are not responsible in this one instance for a creepy trespass exercise experience,
For once.
for once. But anyways, and then someone in our group too was feeling really sick, and wanted to cleanse as well. So then they left. It was at this point too when we all reconvened that a lot of people were like, "Yeah, I'm done with this." And then they all left, so that the final hour could be the most insane final hour of anything ever. So we went with the final group back to the store.
This is when things do get really intense.
They get more intense?
So, um, I'll just cut to the chase. We now are doing back in that store area where nothing has happened until like 5 minutes before when this vibe comes.
Yeah, we were in the same area where the ghost act thing was going. We were explaining to them, and our mind totally shifted to a different spot in that same room, and it got really dark really fast, basically.
Yeah, behind where we had the app set up, there's a little hallway that led to the back of the shop, and there's a curtain. And behind that curtain, there was a little room and then a staircase that led upstairs. As Angela said, our mind kind of shifted to there because we felt like there was just something behind the curtain watching us.
Yeah.
Everyone thought that, not just me in bed.
And we literally just met these. This is a new group.
Yeah,
We met them 5 minutes ago. So I don't know who they are. I'm not going to be like, I'm getting a weird vibe.
this was happening very, very fast.
So all of us felt it at the same time. And we just kind of was like, okay. I volunteered to do the Estes method up towards that curtain where we were feeling the vibe. So I put the blindfold on, standing back there with the soundproof headphones. And this,
Why would you do that?
because I was
Sorry.
comfortable.
You were comfortable at the time.
At the time. Okay.
And this is when the spirit box and the app were now correlating almost like identically 1-to-1 responses. And it seemed like there was a spirit there that potentially we helped cross over, which was really cool. Never had that happen before. But after that moment, as soon as the spirit crossed over, there was a vibe we got. That's what the responses seemed to indicate as well. As soon as the spirit left,
It's like another one stepped forward taking its place.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of the best way you got it. And that whole area in the back, that little room where the curtain was leading up to the stairs and whatever, it got darker than dark. It was already dark back there, but then it got extra dark. And keep in mind too, there was like a mirror and there was like a picture flame back there where there was light reflecting, so we saw that and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That got taken over and you couldn't see that then.
Really?
Like it was pitch black, none of that reflection was showing anymore.
then this is the moment. There were 5 people in the room, staggered in different spots of the room, right?
Yeah, all looking at the same thing though.
looking at the same spot but different perspectives.
Yep.
Some people were crouched down, some people were standing up. All 5 people, at the same time, without talking to each other, without prompting each other, all 5 of us saw, after the light got blocked out, a black figure morph, manifest, come towards us, blocking out now the curtain, and coupled with this black mass coming towards us, morphing, it had the strongest, most negative, most unexplainable vibe I have ever felt. And this is where recency bias might come into play, but I haven't felt anything like this ever while ghost hunting.
Keep in mind though, it was like at first it was like a black mask keep blocking the light, keeping it darker than dark in there. And it was like some like two like people in the group were like saying this like it's like shifting back and forth. We could like see it moving back and forth in the doorway and stuff. And then it was like, oh, it took a step forward, and while it kept taking a step forward, it, like, morphed into, like, a human form, like, black mask type of format, and it was black blocking out the curtain, where you could see, like, a human format of a something blocking out the curtain.
That's wild.
Mhm.
We ended up all running out of there.
It gave a bad vibe.
5 people, 5 people saw a black shadow morph at the same time without prompting each other and all ran out.
That's wild.
Angela and I were the professionals leading a ghost hunt, and we ran out with 3 strangers.
I know, I left that like, I took a step right out of that room, and I felt, like, a little better was the vibes, and I totally, like, crouched over and, like, had tears coming out of my eyes, like, I never felt something like that before. It was scary, but also at the same time, I feel like maybe I was a little bit more scared than usual because other people in the group was like, "That is bad. We need to get out of here. Leave now." And that adrenaline got me going a little bit too, though. But it was that was really weird. And,
That's
like, I mean, like, in sync with each other. Everyone took a step back all together, like, took a step back and was like, "Whoa there. What the fuck was that?"
And it wasn't a trick of the light.
No, because we all saw it.
Yeah, and we were all staggered throughout the room, different heights, different levels, different areas.
Mhm.
And it was literally blocking the curtain. It was literally blocking whatever light we could see. And then we go back there, and then we realize there's 2 mirrors back there facing each other. So it's
Mhm.
creating like a what you might perceive as a portal.
You know what they say about those mirrors.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
It's gotta take a lot to get Angela and I to run out of a place.
The one time that I remember you running, getting freaked out at the old
Oh,
mill. But like, yeah, that never happens to you. Like, I think even when you got like growled at Striker when you were in the woods, you didn't I don't think you ran at that time.
I don't know how to describe that feeling that coupled with that black mass. It was so strong.
It was bad. I don't know how to describe it. Like I said, I really do not get vibes easily. It's usually if
Mhm.
I get scared, it's more myself freaking myself out. But
Yeah.
like I really did feel something there. And then what's even worse is that once we all left, we like calmed down. We walked back over there. I mean, it was dark, but not as dark as it was. And here's the reflections of the light hitting the mirror in that picture frame that you could see easily, day clear as day.
And my brain, like, I don't know what to do at this point. I am no longer a tour guide. I am along for the ride.
Yeah.
These poor guests. My brain was broken. I do not expect to have experiences like this anymore that surprise me at this scale
and we
and
can't
take
it,
me off guard.
we can't forget the most important part though. Because when we were back there looking at the place again and trying to debunk whatever the heck that was, here's a guy from a different group comes walking in and was like, "Hey, did they show you this picture yet?" And this is when it really got even creepier.
I'm gonna post this. Check out our social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You'll see this. It it has a figure in the photo. The more you look at it, the weirder it gets.
Mhm.
Because the thing about me, and here, I'm gonna share it. I enhanced it.
Oh,
So
you're
I'm gonna
sharing it? Oh god, no! There it
so
is!
this photo, and I'm not a big photo guy, by the
Ugh,
way.
I hate
So
it.
I don't
That's so
Oh, it's
creepy.
terrible, absolutely terrible.
I've never captured a photo or claimed to see a photo that I think is like 100% genuine paranormal activity.
Like
I
that's not a person.
No!
Like that's not a person in
Did
the
you
group.
zoom in on the face? It looks like a dog. It has a snout. Like, it has, like, a face of, like, a dog almost.
It looks like it has a top
Yes!
hat on.
Yes! You see the hat
What
too!
the like,
Before you go further into it, when you guys sent me the picture, I thought it was a picture of Ben at first, like just a blurry picture
do
of
you
Ben, like the stance and everything looked like Ben to me.
I wasn't in the
do
room.
you wanna know the funny thing is? I showed my mom this, and he says, "Is that Ben?" Now we have 2 people who think that looks like Ben. Now I don't even like this now.
But that's that but that it with the enhanced that like cuz it looks like a person wearing a t-shirt.
That's the thing.
And then you look at it more and well, I mean, you don't really have to look at it too deeply to see that the face is
Not
not
human.
right.
Where's the other arm?
Yeah, and also it's wearing a top hat. Like a top what?
Where's the torso? It disappears. Where's the left arm?
Yeah, that is such an insane picture.
Look at the background. There's no motion blur.
To be clear, what is in the background right there, though, that's a different room.
Yeah,
That's, like, the entrance to a different room, so that's what that light is right there.
But you can see far into the next room and see details on the wall one room over. There's no motion blur. We have a comparison photo of this exact spot. We tried debunking it. There's no mirrors or reflective surfaces. This is free floating in the middle of the room.
that's wild.
What's even worse is that they said that this was taken at the time we were experiencing and seeing that black mass by the curtain. It was taken around the same time.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't like it.
What we're left with is, and this is where I've said multiple times, the things that disturb me most are things that are like uncanny.
That's
Yeah,
uncanny
Yeah.
valley. That's uncanny valley.
because the thing is, yeah, it's a t. You can see a T-shirt, so it's like, yeah,
Mhm.
that's a person.
Yeah.
It's a person and a t-shirt. It has an arm, like yeah.
Yeah.
And then you look at it and it's like, where's the other arm? And then it's like, wait, what's wrong with the face? And it's like, wait, why are they wearing a top hat?
No one was wearing a top hat.
No, yep.
No one had a snout.
No one has a snout. That is so freaking true.
If someone sat me down and said, "Ben, you're overreacting. That's a T-shirt." You know, in low light environments, especially, even if the background and the camera is steady, if someone was moving very fast, they can be distorted. Sure, but how do you get in that stance? The stance is like looking up, like ooh, like
Yeah, and
looking
it
down, like coming at you, not like left to right. How do you get that distorted? And the T-shirt and the upper body is very still, but the face looks like a completely different shade and color. And there's a snout, and there's no arm. And where does the torso go? Disappears. No one had a top hat.
I was talking to my mom because I was showing her this. I was showing my dad, whatever. My mom was like, "No, someone had to have been like hiding behind like the wall and like popped out while she was taking the pictures, and she didn't notice. Like there had to be someone in there. Like that's 100% in person. There must have been a projector. Like, like obviously someone didn't see someone in that room at the time or taking that photo." And I'm just like, John and Jen, they're not the type of people who are gonna be stating things. Like this is full genuineness. They say it themselves, they're skeptics. They didn't plant nothing.
The night started with this lecture on how to be a skeptical and grounded investigator. And the night ended, they posted on Facebook photo evidence of a clear apparition. Going back to the uncanny, this is two things: person or not person.
I don't think that was a person.
I have the metadata of this photo. It was not doctored. There's no argument. It is literally point blank, simple. Person, not person. But you go on all day going back and forth. As soon as you convince yourself it's a person, you notice one more weird thing. And then you're like, am I really comfortable saying it's a ghost? Come on, it's a t-shirt.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Are ghosts wearing t-shirts? Why is that thing wearing a t-shirt? That's like another argument someone would make. It's wearing a t-shirt. It has to be a person. They captured a person on camera. I don't know about that. Yeah, that seems wearing a t-shirt, but like,
Yeah, it's wearing a t-shirt, but why is it wearing a top hat?
it's really weird.
Oh, that's just insane.
I had tears in my eyes when I saw this because I absolutely could not believe it. I could not believe it. It really did freak me out that thinking that something like that is in that building and we were with it the whole time. Didn't even realize it because
Yeah.
I don't like that snout face right there. Mm-mm.
If I were like on that investigation, if one, if I caught the image, or two, someone caught that image while I was in the room with it, I think I'd be done. I'd be done. I would be like, you know what? I don't need to know anymore. And I would probably be done.
No, but it's reassuring to know that, like, even Brianna's like, "Yeah, that's weird," because, like, I was just like, was I just in the moment? My brain was already broken. Was I just not being as critical as I should have been in the moment?
Mm-hmm.
I literally had just ran out of a room.
Yeah. I mean, even still, like, I was not there. I don't know, like, you guys have laid out the circumstance for me, but I was not there. I couldn't personally say, like, yeah, 100% no, there was not somebody in front of that camera.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
we don't even know that for sure either. It's just how that thing looks. It's like, what the actual heck, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
there's so many questions to be had, so many debates. You can see why my brain is running around in circles. Like, what did we experience? I've never felt anything like that. I've never experienced anything like that.
Like, it almost couldn't be paranormal because it's like, how is that even possible? That's something like your mind cannot properly comprehend, you know?
Yeah.
But yet we saw it. We saw that picture and how everything was combining and making sense at the end. It's like, what the heck? Like, what the heck? You can't, like, physically comprehend that, you know?
And we haven't even gone into, like, the details with all these synchronicities. Like, we just everything else was so crazy. Like, we have all the information, all the words that correlated, all the responses that correlated. We'll have to go in a deep dive later, like connecting all those dots. But when I say there were synchronicities left and right in terms of the responses all groups were getting at the same time, there was scratching on the wall. There was shadow figures morphing and charging us essentially, combined with bad vibes. There was
Right.
display cases rattling, all that combined, it's like, what are the implications here? I do not think this was demonic, but I think it's something that warrants further investigation.
That's wild. I don't know what to think. Kind of wish I would have been there, but also glad that I wasn't.
Brianna, do you want to attend next year's with us?
We'll see.
Yeah, for all the listeners, there's only 16 spots available.
You get it early.
Get in early to come run out of more rooms with us. Um, yay! Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Paranormal Lens. If you liked what you heard, every 5-star rating and positive review tells the algorithms we're a worthy podcast and pushes us out to more listeners. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll see you next Thursday for another paranormal deep dive.